Good evening all, dear artists coming from far and wide, dear dignitaries of our social and political circles, dear current Minister of Culture and Media in absentia, Wolfram Weimar, and his predecessor, dear friend Claudia Roth, dear families and friends, dear colleagues, we wholeheartedly welcome you to the Haus der Kulturen der Welt. Welcome to the opening of the exhibition, Global Fascisms. Thank you for gracing our house with your presence. As usual, please permit me to begin with a poem. This time a poem by Terry Errett, titled How Fascism Will Come, which he wrote for the 100,000 Poets for Change in California in 2011. And it goes. When fascism comes to America, it will be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross, attributed to Sinclair Lewis. When fascism comes, it will greet us with a smile. It will get down on its knees to pray. It will praise Main Street and Wall Street. It will cheer for the home team. It will clap from the bleachers when the uninsured are left to die on the street. It will rally on the Washington Mall. It will raise monuments to its heroes and weep for them and place bouquets at their stone feet and trace with their fingers the names engraved on the granite wall and go on sending soldiers to die in the mountains of Afghanistan, in the deserts of Iraq. It will send doves to pluck out the eyes of its enemies, having no hawks to spare. When fascism comes, it will sit down for tea with the governor of Texas. It will pee in the mosque from California to Tennessee, chanting, "Wake up America, the enemy is here." It will sing the anthems of corporatization, privatization, demonization, monopolization. It will be interviewed lovingly on talk radio. It will have talking points and a Facebook page and a disdain for big words or hard consonants. It won't bother to read. It will shred its books. It will lambast the teachers and outlaw the unions. When fascism comes, it will look good. It will have big hair, press suits, leopard pins. It will control the channels. It will ride on a swift boat. It will sit on the Supreme Court. It will court us with fear. It will woo us with hope. When fascism comes, it will sell shares of itself on the stock market. It will get rich, then it will get obscenely rich. Then it will stop paying taxes. It will leave us in the dust. It will kick our ass. It won't have to break a sweat to fool us twice. It will be too big to fail. When fascism comes to America, it will enter on the wings of our silence and indifference and complacency. And on that day, 100,000 poets will gather in bookstores and libraries, bars and cafes, in their houses and apartments, in schools and on street corners. They will gather. In Albania, Bangladesh, Botswana, Bulgaria, Chile, Czech Republic, China, Finland, Guatemala, Hungary, Macedonia, Malawi, Qatar, crying, laughing, screaming. They will wrap the sad music of humanity in bits of word cloth and hang them like prayers on the tree of life. Terry Eret, how fascism will come. These lines land with uncanny precision. They remind us that fascism rarely arrives first in uniform and ties. It comes veiled in national pride, economic reason, moral panic, and religious fervor. It is worth acknowledging the fact that to talk about fascism is and has always been a controversial issue. For some, it is the untouchable subject because they feel accused. For others, no critique goes far enough. No critique is radical enough. Still, some others feel it is they alone that are qualified or have the exclusive rights to talk about fascism. But with this project, Global Fascisms, it is important to state that we are not only interested in fascism with a capital F, but we are speaking about all the variations of fascisms that exist in many of us, acknowledged or unacknowledged. With this project, like with all other projects in this house, we are not aiming at dividing people, but uniting them. Not aiming at pointing fingers, but rather introspecting. Not interested in stigmatizing others, but critically reflecting on the collective we, beyond hierarchies and their violences. In fact, all we do here is for the love and respect of humanity, irrespective of your age, origin, religion, sexual orientation, cultural affiliations, or otherwise. And because we do care about all human beings within and beyond our societies, it is urgent that we study how some parts of society actively participate in and develop technologies for the systematic dehumanization of others. Just a few months ago, the chatbot Grok, developed by Elon Musk's company XAI, sent a berserk fascist spree. It praised Nazism and its leader. It offered white supremacy as a solution to supposed anti-white hate. Most of us watch these developments as a confirmation of what many have stated before about the perpetuity of fascisms in our societies, and how the so-called intelligent AI reflected the core politics, philosophies, as well as biases in our societies. And while the world gasped in horror, we must ask, is Grok the problem? Or is it the programmers? Or is it our societies that wrote the invisible code long before any software existed? These are not technological glitches. They are ideological continuities, biases encoded long before silicon chips. In Foucault's preface to Anti-Oedipus Capitalism and Schizophrenia, he writes that, and I quote, "Last but not least, the major enemy, the strategic adversary is fascism. And not only historical fascism, a fascism of, this is me, some Mr. H, and some other Mr. M, which was able to mobilize and use the desire of the masses to effectively, but also the fascism in us all, in our heads, and in our everyday behavior. A fascism that causes us to love power, to desire the very thing that dominates and exploits us." End of quote. Grok may have simply held up a mirror to our parliaments, to our police forces, to our courts, our classrooms, group chats, and dinner tables on Christmas Eve. To the creeping, banal, bureaucratized fascisms that no longer need jackboots because they wear sneakers and suits. In a recent essay titled Que peut littérature quand elle ne peut? In the chapter Le Grand Récit, Chamoiseau discusses the relationship between fascism and the grand narrative when he writes that, and I quote again, "Today in our current involutions, we aspire to the foreign enterprises of the grand narrative. Confronted with the impact of the techno-globalized capitalist world, many want to return to the past, bring back old solidarities, and seek out ancient ways of living together, and urgently demand the opium of a vision expanded into a system. All the misfortunes around us stem from a totalitarian grand narrative, locking down a reality that simplifies the unthinkable to the point of unrealism. Religions, colonialism, and capitalism in their metamorphosis have driven and still drive grand narratives." End of quote. All fascisms in every corner of the globe are underpinned by one such grand narrative. The fiction that some humans are more human than others, more deserving of protection, more entitled to land, history, to safety, or to speech. These grand narratives are the fertile soil on which fascism grows, and they have taken root everywhere. As mentioned earlier, this project is not an effort to study the historical roots of fascisms. Rather, it asks how fascisms are produced, packaged, performed, and perpetrated. It is about the varying amoebic shapes that fascisms have taken and continue to take, the variant tentacles that the monsters called fascisms continue to grow whenever some are amputated, as well as their aesthetics, affectivities, consequences in our daily lives. With this project on global fascisms, the House of Kulturen der Welt investigates the morphologies of fascisms, its dialects, its aesthetics, its avatars, and algorithms, its effects on body and soul, its presence in media, markets, schools, and borders. The exhibition gives room to the many that have come up with strategies or even put their lives at risk to combat the systematized and even vulgar manifestations of fascisms. So in some way, it gives us a chance to study fascisms and their avatars as well as to understand their delusions. Before coming to an end, I would like to thank all of those who have worked tirelessly and courageously over the last year to make this project possible. Senior Curator Cosmin Costinias, alongside the whole curatorial team of AKV, the exhibition team, communications, publications, education, the installation department, and technical crew, the administration, as well as the Federal Government Commissioner for Culture and Media, the Hauptstadt Kultur Fund, and many, many others for making this possible. We give thanks. It is our collective responsibility to stand against violent socio-political and economic tendencies of fascisms that dehumanize people in very obvious ways, from Anefis to Bamenda, from Gaza to Goma, from Kashmir to Khartoum, from Mariupol to Neapidao, from Jamena to Tigray, Port-au-Prince to Veracruz. It is also our collective responsibility to recognize and stand against less obvious creeping tendencies of fascisms from Berlin to Washington, Beijing to Moscow, Cairo to Delhi, and much more. Artists across the globe have often had the intuition and the premonition to sense these creeping tendencies before they ever fully manifested themselves. As we know by now, when fascism comes, it will not necessarily wear a mustache, so we have to watch out for it. And as Thierry Eret so strongly points out, when fascism comes, it will greet us with a smile, it will get down on its knees to pray. Thank you very much and enjoy it.